Great. So I think it's time that we start. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this webinar about the opportunity of aerOS open calls. My name is Ignacio Lacalle, and I am the open calls coordinator in aerOS, and I will be guiding you this morning in this session through the opportunity that we are establishing for Cascade funding. The opportunity has been open since October 2023, but we wanted to create this webinar, and now that the opportunity is finishing on 31st January, so to give you the last chance of understanding and having the opportunity to directly ask us about the whole process. Without further ado, I will guide you through what we have prepared for today, which is structured in four main sections. I will first explain and make an introduction to this opportunity to aerOS open calls, what we want from them, how they are structured, etc. Then, more focus on those of you that are willing to present a proposal. I will explain what's expected to be delivered and what you need to bear in mind when preparing your proposals for being successful. Then I will show you how to apply, meaning logistically and functionally, how to go through the documents, how to establish the documents, how to submit them, etc. And to conclude, I will explain the timing. I will explain you once again when this is concluding and which would be the next steps moving forward. Also, when we finalize, I will hear out your any kind of questions that could be, and then we will finalize around 1:30 or 1:45. We will see how the questions go. So let me start with the introduction to aerOS Open Calls. You know, or you may know, aerOS is a project funded by the Horizon Europe program within the Cluster 4 of the research program. We are a research and innovation action that started on September 2022. So we are in our 17th month of execution, around the middle of the project. It will last till August 2025, and we are bringing together 27 partners coming from 11 countries in Europe, uh, establishing and undergoing research around the topics of the edge cloud computing continuum, right? So we are in the call of meta operating systems. We touch upon aspects such as frugal explainable AI, orchestration of workloads and services and resources, virtualization, networking, data governance, sovereignty, trustworthiness, decentralized computing. Those are keywords that you will need to pay attention to because they will be repeated across all the documents that you will need to check out in order to prepare a successful proposal for the open calls. In this regard, within this project lasting 36 months, we have reserved a total amount of 900,000 euro for Cascade funding, for financial support of third parties, which is structured in two opportunities, let's say two windows of opportunities, two rounds. The currently ongoing one is the first one that was announced back in September last year, 2023. It opened October 2023, and it will remain open for you to submit proposals till the end of this very month, January. Then they will undergo an evaluation, and then you would participate as part of the project. Another round will likewise open around May, June this year, so in 4 or 5 months. Another round will open in which we will try to look for different things. Apart from the amount of projects expected to be funded in each of the two rounds, meaning 7 in the first and 8 in the second, the nature of those two are also different. This time in this round, we are looking for you extending our functionalities, expanding aerOS architecture, and validating our tools, providing added value to one of our 5 use case verticals that we have in the project. Meanwhile, in the second round that will start around May, June this year, we will be looking for applicants to provide new use cases in new sectors that are not included in our project. Each contribution that we will be funding, we expect to fund a total of 15, 7 now, and 8 next year. Well, at the end of 2024, each proposal and each project participating will be receiving 60,000 euro in lump sum nature, and basically you will need to be understanding which are our pilots because you will need to be providing added value to them. Also, eligible companies are SMEs, RTOs, and individuals. So no large companies are allowed, meaning universities, yes, research centers as well, SMEs, individual EU elements, but not large companies. If you have any kind of question, you may raise your hand, and at the end of the session, I will pass the floor to you for making those. Okay, good. So once having introduced what's around our open goals, let me introduce you to how or what's expected to be received. So basically, you need to, as I have said, be individuals, SMEs, universities, or research centers. You need to devise or try to embody a proposal of a project to last 8 months. I have said 60,000 euro, 8 months. So you know that the resources will be limited. Therefore, you need to have this into account in order to explain the scope and the ambition of your project. Okay, you need to prepare a proposal of 15 pages with a template that is available. I will explain you later how it is structured. Basically, what you need to deliver technically. Okay, basically, well, anything that fits the challenges that we have defined, or anything that is related to the keywords of our research that I have mentioned before, like containerist modules, AI, ML libraries, cybersecurity techniques, functions for the nodes in the continuum to perform certain actions, novel smart data components, semantics technologies, um, how to improve DevOps activities in these kind of routes, communication technologies, networking. Everything that is related to those keywords above could be accepted. Okay, but what you have to bear in mind for this round is that you have two mandatory conditions. First, you need to provide added value to one of our pilots. You will see that we have 5 pilots in the project. Each of those have defined a set of challenges that they would like to see solved, but also you can provide more generic solutions, but always bearing in mind that you need to provide added value to one of those 5, right? And also you need to validate our architecture, or at least part of it. Architecture is wide, is composed of many modular components with you making use of very different technologies. You can find information about that in the documents I will explain and in the website. The goal is that you at least understand what we're trying to create with the architecture, the components that we have, that you validate it. Along the execution of your project, you will have our code available to the extent to which it's finished, but we will also be specifying to which rules and principles you need to stick to, right? So um, I have explained you that we need you to provide added value to one out of our 5 pilots. Our 5 pilots are encapsulated in one of these 5 verticals, right? In manufacturing, renewable energy, machinery, maritime ports, or smart buildings. Each of those has its specific objectives, its specific KPIs, and also goals in terms of development, deployment, and which components they validate. In order to gain more information about those, we recommend you to go through the documents public in our website. Also, these pilots, it's relevant that you know them, but what is more important for you is to understand the challenges that they would like to be solved, that I will present later. All of this information is available in the website. All these pilots have defined this set of challenges they would be interested in seeing a result. However, if you have a good idea that could help add added value to them, could validate our architecture, and you believe that is worth of being funded with our money, then in all of the pilots, you have an open challenge, which means you do not necessarily need to cover the challenges that are defined by each pilot, but you have something broader or more specific to your line of interest that could be valid in any case. Okay, and both options are equally valid. Right. Which are our 5 pilots? 5 pilots. I will not go in detail about this because this is in the slides. I will be sharing the slides with you, and also you have this available in our documents. But first is about data-driven cognitive production lines. We have several production line with different equipment that is considered part of the computation continuum, so that they overtake certain tasks in order to provide some intelligence into the process, like predictive maintenance, positioning of the pieces, reducing the energy consumption, reducing the CO2 emissions impact, etc. The goal is to improve these processes. This pilot has described 6 challenges and 1 global. The challenges are as follows: real-time footprint monitoring in production processes. Each of those has been pro mm, properly described. And the second would be optimization of AGV paths, Pathfinder for an AGV moving in a plant, AGV travels optimization, how to optimize those routes, remote operation of coordinate measurement machines in a specific line inspecting the defects of an element, managing industrial production applications with behavior trees, and designing plug and produce factory models for agile production environments. As I have said, the challenges are properly described here in these boxes, which is in the guidelines for applicants. And also I have to say that uh, all the partners in the consortium are being very active in providing you enough information if you need about more details of the challenge if they are needed. Of course, everything kept within the data that can be shared and the privacy constraints and restrictions, but we are open for receiving questions from you to clarify any aspect that wouldn't be clear out of this pilot. The second one is about containerized edge computing near renewable energy. So we have a company called Electrum, which basically distributes energy across Poland, and we have Cloud-Ferro, and what they are using are physical containers that include data centers within them, and they are looking for improving how to better use the energy coming from renewable energies, creating a computing continuum that will help them improve the distribution of the workloads according to the available type of energy to be consumed to process these kind of procedures, like for instance, training of large, heavy AI algorithms. This pilot has specific goals, and apart from the goals that will serve for validating this pilot, they have defined the 2 challenges that they would like to see covered by applicants. Advanced context-specific energy level prediction on the edge, meaning the edge in these containers that are close to renewable energy, and carbon intensity prediction to predict the environmental impact of certain workloads that are needed to be developed and deployed within those edge containers. Again, I will repeat, we have the team behind the pilot ready for you to make questions, and they would solve them for you to better understand the pilot. We have the third pilot. It's within the agricultural and forestry equipment. We have John Deere and TT Control as companies behind this use case. And basically, what we are willing here to do is to take advantage of certain components that are able to capture information from the field and then act as a swarm of elements interacting among themselves using specific technologies for communications to improve all the harvesting and the equipment machinery process. There, they have defined 3 specific challenges: a low-cost dust detection system that would be equipped with tractors that also in turn have some computing continuum nodes equipped on them. They would also be looking for some technologies to ensure seamless wireless connection in challenge agriculture environments. You know that this is a challenge usual in these kind of deployments and in kinds of fields. And finally, a cost-effective short-range sensor fusion for full area coverage around moving vehicles and machinery using artificial intelligence and using other technologies specified. Again, as I have said before, all these, you will be noticing that all these pilots have an option of not sticking especially to the challenges, but going for a global one based on the technology that could be aligned with aeros, right? Then the pilot number 4 is about maritime ports. We count in the project, thankfully with the terminal of the port of Limassol in Cyprus, they have deployed certain IoT measurements elements, some PLCs equipped in the cranes that they have in the port, which control both the operation from the ship to the shore, from the shore to the yard, etc. And certain processes capture data in real time with PLC sensors, movements, cameras, container detection. Actually the environment is quite complex, but it gives a lot of opportunities and possibilities. Within these possibilities, they would like to see certain challenges converted, like for instance, getting low cost, accurate GPS measurements, which could get them an accuracy of positioning of elements below the range of centimeters. And this could be a challenge that you could try to stick to, or being able to allow them to have an open, well-achieved, secure private mobile network so that they could move from the bad aspects that are usually common in this kind of environments with wave reflection and issues that do not always allow them to employ usual communication technologies and mechanisms, or to develop new predictive maintenance or computer vision use cases based on the information brought by the PLCs or the cameras. You can see the detail, or 3D digital twin visualization of the whole yard and terminal, moving from two-dimension maps to 3D dimension maps. Our fifth and last pilot is about the smart buildings. We count with OTE, which is the major telecommunication operator in Greece. They have a lab testing building equipped with many IoT sensors, many IoT computing devices, meaning edge computing, gateways, cloud. We have also replicated buildings that have different ways of capturing the information of workers, also other type of sources, and they plan to also open the challenges for both creating and using a gateway, IoT gateway that could allow 5G communications. This is not as usual as it might seem in the market, and also a gateway that could allow them to function with these sensors and sticking to aerOS architecture would be a challenge that would be like to be solved by this company, Cosmoti. Also energy consumption calculation. So they would like to calculate how the energy consumption across a building could be gathered based on the technology that they have mounted in the pilot. Again, global challenges of smart buildings that you might think of would also apply, or any other kind of technology that in this kind of environment will help them to give an added value. How could you think what can give an added value to these pilots? Well, you need to think and to read what's their deployment, what's their nature of their activities, and propose and be able in your proposal to convince the evaluators that indeed what you are proposing gives added value to them. Then the second, which was the second thing that you had to bear in mind in order to mandatorily stick to what we need. First, provide the added value to the pilots. We covered that. And second, validate the architecture of aerOS. Okay. I have said validating totally or partially. The architecture and the innovation that we are doing on aerOS are quite broad. We are using frugal explainability, artificial intelligence. We are using ETSI CIM components, meaning fireware, NGSI, LD, or ION context broker. We are using a zero touch, automated orchestration, intent-based orchestration, resource federation, data compression, data encryption, many kind of technologies. And for you to have a reference, a quick reference, because you have our deliverables all public, we're using these technologies: Cube-Edge, NGSLD, Keycloak, Cilium, Zeno, OpenAPI, DCAT. We are using many technologies that you would, if something pops to your mind that something is aligned with your current research lines or product lines, it's a very good way to start understanding it. I have left there for your reference to documents that are deliverables of the project that are kind of the baseline that you should be aware of to present the proposal. Deliverable 3.1 and 4.1, which are our most recently updated technical deliverables in the project. Then, well, if you want to see a bit more of a detail of what's our architecture looking like, the technologies mentioned here are mapped to the different components and modules in our architecture, and you can see it there. the management portal, in the runtime that we have, the orchestration, some auxiliary services. Uh, well, you go there and see, and all of this information is clearly augmented in the deliverables that I have mentioned. So, having arrived here, you should have a clear idea of what's expected from your proposals. Now, I will spend some time explaining how you should prepare them, right? How to apply, actually. How to apply? First, what you should be familiarized with is with our open call, with our website, sorry, in which we have a tab there about open calls. There you have the summary of what all of this is about, all that's all that I have explained before, and you have the most relevant document that you need to have handy when preparing the proposal, which is the guidelines for applicants. You have there the link, and this is how it looks like. It specifies how to prepare the proposal, how to submit it. It also reminds you of the challenges that I have just mentioned. And you also have a section in the website and also in the guidelines about uh, frequently asked questions, a facts section, and you can go there and see that might solve some of the questions that might pop to your mind, like how many applications could I submit being the same, being as an only the individual entity. Is there a checklist of steps to do? Could I be eligible for the second round if I was funded in the first one, or if I was rejected in the first one? Could I present the same proposal? All those questions should be solved in the frequently asked questions. But again, if they are not, we are here for you to help. Okay. So, what should be the first thing doing for you once you have clear what you want to present, you want to apply, you have selected which pilot you can provide added value to, etc. First, you should basically fulfill the form for submission, which is a form that you can find also in the website. There is a button there that brings you to this form composed of 4 parts that you need to complete. For 3 parts, sorry, that you need to complete: the applicant information, your name, your entity, country, your identification code, email, etc. Then the proposal information, the title, the acronym, a short abstract, some keywords, and then, and this is relevant, selecting which of the pilots they have explained you are providing added value to, and within those, which is the challenge that you are selecting. Challenge 1, the challenge 2, or a global challenge, right? Then you need to go there, just check and advance. Then you need to fulfill some statistical data information for us, accept our conditions, read the ethical non-disclosure data processing articles, etc., and then proceed to submit. With this, it's not fully submitted because, of course, you need to provide your document. This just serves for you to be sure that your proposal has been registered. If you go there and you submit, here your proposal is registered. For completing the documentation, you need to prepare your actual document of 15 pages and make it reach us. How to do that? Here is the example. You need to go to download the proposal template, which is in docx format, and there you need to complete the following sections. First, you need to complete some administrative information, part 1, 2, and 3, which must correspond exactly to what has been filled in the form in the previous slide that I have explained. Once it's completed, then you have several sections there and that will help you complete and expose your idea, the relevance for the project, the relevance for the pilot, your work plan, the impact you want to create, the team that is behind it, etc. You have there some clearly defined sections that will be used for evaluating you with the following criteria. Okay, these are 5 criteria that can be marked from 0 to 5. So you can have a maximum score of 25, and 19th is the threshold. If you are not meeting this threshold, you are automatically disregarded or dismissed, disqualified. If you are above 19 to 25, then you might get funding. This will depend on the number of proposals submitted, the score, the ranking, etc. If you have any kind of question, understanding the template, understanding what needs to be where, you can just directly contact us at any moment. We have this email address open. We tend to answer in no more time than 24 hours. Okay, but once this is prepared, what you need to do? Well, when you have prepared your proposal, then you need to package the documentation and send it to us. How to do this? Then you need to first, of course, transfer your doc Word fulfilled with information to a PDF, and then together with the justifying of submission of your form, okay, from hot form, you will receive when you completed justification, a receipt of confirmation. When you got that and you got the PDF, you need to zip the both documents using this password to protect it, and then send an email to the address that is there included. Okay, the email address, this one. Okay, then when you do that, you will receive in less than 5 days after submission, you will receive the confirmation that it has been received. Here, I must say that uh, if you submit the last day, we will make the possible to have the confirmation that you will receive your application within the same day, so that you can know that it was received and will be processed. Okay, if it's sent before, then we have this margin of 5 days to answer. Right? Great. So concluding how the process must be conducted, let's check once again the timing. Okay. Um, as I have said, the announcement got done in September and it started during October, November, December, January. You have been time for submitting your proposal. We have been making promotions, webinars in the CSA, with help by the CSA EU Cloud-Edge-IoT, which whom we thank a lot the opportunities that they have given us to promote our opportunity. And till the end of this month, till 31st January, you will be able to submit your proposal. Then a process of evaluation will take place. This evaluation is composed of certain steps, as you can see in this graph at the right, with a pre-eligibility check, a pre-screening of understanding if your proposal meets with the mainly with the first acceptable conditions, and then if everything is okay, you will undergo, each proposal will undergo an evaluation by two external experts that do not belong to the project. They will give you some scores. They will have a consensus evaluation of your proposal, and based on that ranking, you will be ranked and their decision will be taken. All this process is expected to take around 2 months. So our intention is to communicate the results maximum on 31st March 2024. There, once the results are communicated, you all will receive an email. So either you have been accepted or rejected, you will be communicated. The proposal that will be accepted will be called from us to complete a series of documentation, signing some contracts and providing us some information so that we, in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks, can start the actual collaboration in the project. From that point on, the 8 months of duration of the project will kick off and will start. From that point on, if you are granted and you are selected, the payment will be done in 3 different installments. First, after the first month, with some introductory information of what your project is, what you will be doing. Second, after the month 6 of execution, so after the mid of the project, and the last one after you complete all the project and you have successfully made your objectives. As I have said, the nature of the funding is lump sum. So in case of being resulting awarded, you will not need to provide us payrolls or any endorsing financial documentation. It will just given based on the accomplishment of objectives. Right? This is the tentative timeline, as I have said. 31st January 2024, deadline for submission of applications. This needs to be very well clear in your mind. Second, 31st March, which we will communicate the results. The start of the projects around 15th, 20th April 2024, as soon as possible, and the conclusion around 15th, 20th November 2024. So this has been all from my side in regards of what's expected from you to be delivering. There's information of plenty of it in the guidelines for applicants. There are also some recordings online of what we already explained. And here I would like to now open to questions from the audience in case any one of you would have any kind of question. Please raise your hand, and one by one I will try to be attending to any question that might be. Okay, I have a hand from Federico Viane. Please go ahead.
Hi, Ignacio. Good morning.
Good
Thanks a
morning.
lot for the presentation. So, sorry, could you go back to the previous slide? Just one
Of course.
moment. Because
To the last one, you mean?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
last one. Yeah, I was checking about the timing of the reviews. Could you repeat, please, the last one? Because you said November, but my doubt is if the end is in the half of November or half of December.
It's half of November. The thing that will happen in December is the payment.
Okay.
These black boxes there here below correspond to when you would receive each installment. At the beginning in May, having started in April, during May you would receive the 20%. In September would be month 6, so during October you would receive the 30%. In November you would finalize, and then in December you get the money, because you understand that there is a process between one thing and the other.
Okay, good. So summarizing are 7 months, not 8, right? Half of April?
Well, considering that you start in April, you end in November, it's a whole 8 months.
Okay. May, June, July. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, we have Madi Darodi as well.
Yeah. Hi, good morning. There is a question here. I was checking the the pilots proposals. The question is, the solution we are providing should sit on top of the infrastructure, or we can also contribute in the kind of some parts of the infrastructure which are present in the pilots as well. I mean that the pilots are partially open to give us access to add something to the pilot, or we should put it on top of that.
This is a fantastic question. Thanks, Madi. And the answer is both are acceptable. Both are acceptable. So either you can count on using their infrastructure to a certain extent, okay, or just providing your own. Let me be clear that this will not be a disqualifying factor. So if you have proposed a good proposal that has been well scored and you basically exposed counting with your infrastructure, if you get granted, we will make the possible for this to be realized. Otherwise, we would find alternative ways of having this put into the reality. So you can count when preparing the proposal that both options are correct.
So the next question rises in this way, that so if some kind of solution was beneficiary for more than one pilot, is it up to us to select it, or you will select it later, or we can select a couple of pilots to deploy?
You need to select one yourselves.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Great. We have also Victor Todorov that wanted to make one question.
Yes, hello. Thank you for the presentation. Just have one question since we joined recently. May we also get a copy of this guide for applicants and some useful links since
Yes, of course. You will get these slides when we finalize. I will go through the participants in this meeting, and I will send you the material. But it's anyway in the website. If you navigate to aeros-project.eu and go to the open call number 1 tab, you will find all the documentation there for you to just download.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's great. Do we have any other question here? Well, if we do not, I will just insist that actually the time for presenting is now short. You have just barely 20 days for preparing it. I encourage.
Sorry for interrupting. There
No
is
problem,
a question in the chat.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't check the chat. Give me one sec. The proposal needs to be choose strictly one pilot. Yes, Udayanto, hello. Yeah, that's the case. You need to select one pilot and also one challenge within the pilot. This challenge can be global, but you need to declare for one. And no, also no multiple challenges in one pilot, only one challenge. What you could do if you would like to, is spend some space in your proposal saying that your solution is targeting one specific pilot and challenge, but could be also useful for other aspects, like other challenges or other parts of the pilot. This is acceptable and it's up to you. But also remember, it's short space that you need to convey all your ideas. So just be careful on how you expose it. As I have said, if you have any issues, questions, moving on with the template or whatever, we are always very open for hearing this out. Okay, have another question from Francesco Guaraldi, please.
Yeah, it's just an issue related to the facilities in the pilot, and let's say if we have to schedule some demos, some field final demonstrator, what we should foresee, because I've seen that especially for agriculture, you have provided the John Deere facilities, but it's not clear, let's say, if we have to budget, for example, just cost for traveling and taking prototypes there, or if we have to budget other type of cost if we want to have a final demonstration there.
In all the cases, what you need to bear in mind is that, as I have said, the infrastructure of pilots might be used, but it will, of course, depend on specific restrictions that they might have later. So if you are planning, the most smart approach here would be, if you are planning a specific type of prototype or demonstration there, you have specific doubts that you would need, you need for sure that you will need certain equipment, and you just make a question to us, we pass to the relevant, to the responsible partner in this case, and they will counter in advance if they can provide this to you or not. In general, they have an infrastructure that is devoted to the goals of the pilot. Eventually, if this is described as infrastructure of the pilot in our documents and it's available, you could make use of it. But if it's something that you would need for your own demonstrator, like, I don't know, some SIM cards or some antennas and gateways for some type of communication, you must assume you need to bring this by yourself. But again, if you have specific ideas in mind of specific material that would be needed, better to make the questions by email and we will ask.
Yes, the condition is challenge plus demonstration in the demo site. It's plus.
No. Oh. That's not a mandatory aspect. So I've said mandatory
so we can eventually foresee the demonstration in our facilities as well.
As long as you will be able to justify that with that you are providing an added value to the pilot, of course, 100%.
Okay.
Yep. Actually, bear in mind, Francesco, that it's 8 months long and 60,000 euro, so might be demonstrations.
No, for this it was complicated.
Yeah, the scope of demonstrations, you need to be very smart on planning that. Great.
Super.
Thanks for the question, Francesco. Do we have any other? Well, if that's not the case, I just leave my inbox open for all of you for making questions. This material will be uploaded along with the recording of this session, and you have all the information in the website. We are reachable and hope to see you sending proposals in 31st January. Thanks to all attendees. Thanks to everybody.
Thank you for the explanation.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.